Welcome back with Scions. Just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's got me this far. I just hit 50 subscribers. We're on the road to 100 subscribers now. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And welcome back to this week's version of Let Me Cook. This episode was a recommended one by MTG Cranium 707. Feel free to follow them on TikTok. They're awesome. And let's welcome to the stage Xyris The Writhing Storm. Xyris is from the Ikoria set. They are a 5-cost 3/5 with flying. And they say whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, you create a 1/1 green snake creature token. And it says whenever Xyris the Writhing Storm deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. On the surface, Xyris looks like a great commander for Will's types of decks, but you should really let me cook. The first topic we're going to talk about today is going to be our draw section. Inside of here, I'm going to have my cantrip spells in the beginning, so things like Ponder and Brainstorm to start us off, which will be more categorized as like card selection. And as we get into our mid to late game effects, we're going to be using cards like Kenesis, Priest of Thassa. They'll take advantage of some of our other types of cantrips that allow us to scry an additional card. Not only that, they have an activated ability where we pay 4, we look at the top card of our library, and if it's one of a few types of creature cards, we can put it straight onto the battlefield, which is really powerful. Not only that, it's just straight up card selection, so of course you can put it on the bottom of your library as well. Another card I wanted to highlight in here is Storm Surge Kraken. They are a 5-cost 5/5 with hexproof. They also have Lieutenant, so as long as you control your commander, this card gets an additional +2/+2 and has whenever this card becomes blocked, you may draw 2 cards. My top card of this category is going to be Imposing Grandeur. It's a 5-cost sorcery that says each player may discard their hand and draw cards equal to the greatest mana value among commanders they own that are on the battlefield or in the command zone. Not only did I pick this card because it's like one of my favorite pet cards, it's also really good because it doesn't matter whether or not your commander is on the battlefield or in the command zone, you'll still get the value from it, which is really cool. And not only that, if your commander is actually on the battlefield, you'll get a bunch of snakes for everybody that chooses to actually take advantage of it. Let me cook. Now moving on to our ramp category. So in the beginning, I'm going to be using effects like Burgeoning and Exploration to simply just put out more lands each turn. The same does apply for cards like Azusa Lost but Seeking. They are more for like the mid game. Like Journey to the Oracle, you may put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Then if you control 8 or more lands, you may discard a card. If you do, return Journey to the Oracle back to its owner's hand. One of the cards I wanted to highlight in here is going to be a Rixmithy's Slumbering Isle. They are a 4-cost 12/12. They enter the battlefield with 5 slumber counters on it, which simply means that they are strictly a land up until those 5 counters are taken off. Whenever you cast a spell, you're able to take off one of those slumbering counters off of it, which is really, really cool. But after that point, they are just a giant 12/12. One of the cards I wanted to highlight is going to be As Foretold. It is a 3-cost enchantment that says that at the beginning of your upkeep, you can put a time counter on it. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than paying the mana cost for a spell you cast with mana value X or less, where X is the number of counters that are on this card, which is really, really cool. It's a powerful effect, so as time goes on, you'll be able to cast bigger and better things, and the world's your oyster after that point. Let me cook. Okay, it's time to give you guys the truth. This is the pitch. We are doing sea critter typal, which includes krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. We're going to dive right into our next category, which is our sea critter category, which includes cards like Serpent of the Yawning Depths. It is a 6-cost 6/6 serpent that says krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents you control can be blocked except by creatures of the same type. We're also going to include cards like Coma Cosmos Serpent. It is a 7-cost 6/6 that says this spell cannot be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, you're going to get a 3/3 serpent named Coma's Coils, and then it says you can sacrifice another serpent and choose one of these abilities. And it says tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated, which you can use proactively or reactively. It also says you can sacrifice a serpent and choose this ability, and it says Coma gains indestructible until end of turn, which is really, really cool. My top card is definitely going to be Kiora, Sovereign of the Deep. It is a 5-cost 4/5 with Vigilance and Ward. It says whenever you cast a sea critter, that's what I'm going to label them as a sea critter, from your hand, you may look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the mana value of that spell. You may cast a spell with mana value less than X from among them without paying its mana cost. Really, really strong effect. Really love that card. Let me cook. The next category is going to be our contingency plans. Just in case things go south, I'm going to include like bombs in here and just in case cards. So one of the just in case cards I was talking about is going to be Xyris Weirding. It is a 4-cost enchantment that says players play with their hands revealed. If a player would draw a card, they instead reveal that card instead. Then any other player may pay 2 life. If a player does, they put that card into its owner's graveyard. otherwise that player may draw the card. That card, as well as Narset Parter of Veils, are just there so that way people can't go crazy with the amount of cards they're going to be drawing off of your commander. And speaking of Yucking Yums, we have Whelming Wave. It is a 4-cost sorcery that says return all creatures to their owner's hand except for sea critters. With that same mindset, I'd included cards like Slin Bolda, the Rising Deep. It is a 8-cost 8/8 with 2 kicker. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, you return all creatures to their owner's hand except for, once again, sea critters, which also includes merfolks this time around, which is really good. And we're going to finish this up by going into our win cons. Mainly we're going to be doing the beatdown strategy, so we're going to be combat oriented, so just making sure that we get in there every turn. But to finish it out, I do have cards like Full Steam Ahead. It is a 5-cost sorcery that says until end of turn, each creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample. It also gets, this creature can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Really strong effect. It's just a better version of Overrun, and I really like this card coming out of the new OTJ set. The last card I'm going to bring up is going to be Warstorm Surge. It's going to put in a lot of work. It is a 6-cost enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. It gives you flexibility so you can ping down creatures if necessary. And on top of that, with the big power creatures that we're putting down in the later game, it's going to be able to smack people for a lot of damage. And that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. Make sure that you guys are commenting on my videos. At MTG Cranium 707 actually commented on my TikTok. I look at everybody's comments and I immediately was like, I gotta hop on this. I do have a big list of people just overall that have commented before on my videos. A lot of my problematic legendary videos have been fan requested, if you will. So I really do appreciate those comments down below. Make sure that you guys like it as well. Appreciate your time. Take care.